The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a Primal Lifestyle. With your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning, I'm Ellen Haan.
It's a beautiful morning in downtown St. Petersburg. Actually, 79 degrees, is very muggy and hot. But it's beautiful anyway, because we're here. That's right.
Yeah, my glasses fog over when I get out of the car. We're back to the heat.
That's right. We'd like to remind you folks, this time it's really important to have your health. So Primal Edge is there to help you. Over 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients, all there to make you healthy. And it has fulvic and humic acid in it, and that's really important because it takes the good stuff in
and lets the bad stuff out.
I got it right this time. And also remind you, please, to pick up the Health Signals newsletter. I have a brand new one out there right now. Starts talking about how the coronavirus quarantine can actually affect your body negatively, according to some doctors. And we have Paige Clark coming in later on. And a little picture of her right there. So let's start on with the show. I got a first article I'd like to come up with. Page, or Ellen, is this one by Science Alert by Business Insider there. Some people may have a head start against the coronavirus with surprising evidence. And what this is that they have a head start because they're showing some signs that they've had these T cells, which are important in recognizing and responding to the coronavirus. Okay. So it means they've had some type of similar type of disease, maybe a common cold or one of the 4 different strains of corona before. And because you've had that, the body recognizes that you've had this before. Oh, I know what to do, kind of thing.
It's not that surprising to me. Human bodies are amazingly adaptable and resilient. And I mean, obviously we've survived this long.
Yeah,
and
that's for sure.
And through all kinds of situations and circumstances and environments and adversity. So the fact, it would make no sense if a T cell were adapted only to fight one particular strain of a disease.
Right.
It makes much more sense that the body would say, okay, now let's see, this is similar. So which T cell do I need, and how do I build immunity to this one?
Right, and we know that the RNN strain are very volatile. In other words, they change very quickly when they attach themselves to these proteins. So even though you may not have had this particular strain, there's enough evidence in there, or enough information in there, that the body says, oh, I've recognized this. You're changing on me, but I recognize it. And this probably explains why some people are not affected at all by it.
Yeah, if they had anything similar and their body still has those immune responses in it. Yeah, it's the other thing that I thought was interesting about this study was that it included people who had severe cases, people who had mild cases, medium cases, moderate cases, and asymptomatic. So that was interesting as well. It doesn't seem to make any difference. It's a matter of whether you've had anything similar previously.
Yeah, he says for the study, the team examined immune systems of 20 people who got the coronavirus and recovered, as well as blood samples from 20 people that had been collected between 2015 and 2018, meaning there's no chance the people had ever been exposed to the new virus. Among the 20 people whose blood samples were taken before the pandemic, 50% of them, a type of blood cell, a white blood cell called CD4+. T cells that have to help the immune system create antibodies. And the researchers found to be capable of recognizing the new coronavirus and prompting the immune system to fight back right away.
And they say it's too early to conclude. They call it cross-reactivity.
Okay.
And as they say, it's too early to conclude that the cross-reactivity with cold coronaviruses plays a role and whether you get a mild or a severe case. But at least they're looking at things.
Yeah, and among the group of coronavirus patients studied in the new research, only 2 had severe cases. The other 90% either had mild or moderate infections. The group was selected that way so the researchers could measure the immune responses in the average patients and not hospitalization people.
Yeah.
An estimated 20% of the coronavirus cases are severe, they say. And we know they're severe because that there's usually an underlying condition that's already been there, that's been a problem, maybe life-threatening, but not quite. And
that's exacerbated by the coronavirus.
Right.
It's kind of a cumulative effect. If you have any kind of compromised immune system, adding one more insult to it,
breaks the camel's back in a sense.
Right.
Right. The results showed that during the course of the infections, all 20 patients made antibodies and helper T cells capable of recognizing the coronavirus and corresponding accordingly. And 70% made the killer T cells. And these killer T cells are the ones that really stop the virus immediately. So that's important. This suggests that the body will be able to identify and defend itself against coronavirus in the future. So this study is really saying that maybe these aren't second waves that we're seeing. Maybe this is just because we slowed it down too much. Kind of the way I'm thinking, if we're trying to isolate people and them not getting it, they're still going to get it, but it's just going to slow it down and stretch it over a couple of year period, which seems to be what they wanted. I'm not sure that's from a evolutionary standpoint and from surviving all these things in the past. We've never taken this path before.
Right.
So we really don't know if this is going to be something that hurts us in the long run or not. Maybe it's best to let these things just go through us. Run their course. And I hear a lot of doctors saying that, yeah, well, people are going to die over a 2-year period. They would have died over maybe a 3 or 4 month period, which seems, if you take those same people and stretch them out over 2 years, it doesn't seem as bad. But if you condense them down to 3 months and you have millions of people dying, then, of course, it seems really bad. So still, we don't know a lot, but we're starting to know a little bit more. The immune memory is related to an event. If it's a strong event, you'll have a strong memory. If it's a small event, you'll still have it in there.
Yeah. He says, they say in the article, if you almost got run over by a truck, you would remember that. But you may not remember the color of the socks you wore yesterday because that doesn't.
That's not that important. That's an analogy.
Certain trauma and high energy emotion attached to memories.
Yeah.
So your body kind of reacts the same way.
Yeah.
It's an assault on the system is a big memory.
Yes, it is.
And they need to. So your body needs to know. Oh yeah. This is what I need to do, and let's see what this one is.
Yeah, and this is kind of reminds me of the old Indian chief that has the memories of the things of the past, maybe weather patterns that he's seeing now, and saying, okay, let's take shelter. This is why it's been important throughout our history, our evolutionary history, to have the old people with us and not segregate them.
Yeah, well, all right. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Yes, we're back, and we've been talking a lot about cleanliness and washing your hands and dealing with the coronavirus, and then the question is now coming up, are we too clean? I remember when we first started using hand sanitizers, and then we were reading articles that said, you shouldn't use them because they kill good bacteria.
And they also disrupt the immune system itself.
Right. So this article says where it's important to note that not all bacteria are harmful. Some of them keep us healthy. And there's more than 100 trillion microbial and bacterial cells in our body, which is called the microbiome. And that microbiome needs diversity in order to thrive and develop. So that takes us to the article on Are We Too Clean?
Yeah, with vaccines, antibodies, and the propensity, penchant for cleanliness, a germ doesn't seem to have a chance. This means the immune system is left just sitting around twiddling its virtual thumbs. Yeah. Kind of a nice analogy, but this is something that Paige and I had been talked about in the past, that we are constantly cleaning ourselves, and now with this new virus, we're told to clean ourselves, which it makes sense. Mm-hmm. We want to wash our hands. We don't want to pass the germs on to ourselves or to other people. But I remember in the old days when I was a kid, we were always playing in the dirt. The dirt was good for us. We planted gardens. We didn't care if the vegetables were completely squeaky clean. We just kind of rinsed them off and still ate them with probably some dirt on there.
We didn't spray them with magic spray to get everything.
So,
well, we didn't have to because we didn't have DDT or anything on them.
Well, that's true, too. Yeah. And there's another insult on top of these things that can affect our immune system for sure.
Yeah.
So although no one knows why the incidence of allergies and asthma is skyrocketing, a leading theory holds that the Western world is simply too clean. And some researchers call this the hygiene theory.
Yeah, and it means that because we are so insulated from any kind of germs or bacteria or microbes, that our bodies don't get the chance to develop the immunity that we need, or the response that we need.
Well, there's also, in my head, I always go back to the pristine forest, the wild areas where there are no viruses of these modern kinds. There are things that can infect you, but there's not the rampant type of viruses that go through human populations. The rats follow us, and the fleas are on the rats and the bacteria is on the fleas kind of thing. They follow the human beings. And in pristine forest years ago, there weren't these animals. The rats that were around human population living out in the prairies are completely different animals than the ones in the cities. And probably we ate those. They were probably nice and clean. They lived out in the prairie or whatever, wherever.
We were just listening to a podcast about the Polynesian populations that expanded throughout the Pacific and landed on Easter Island, and we're talking about they actually brought rats with them because that was part of their diet.
Right.
But I'm sure they were not the city rats. You're right.
No, they're not the New York City rats, the big Norway rats and things like that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So it says here that if we're too clean, it means that the immune system is kind of just sitting around twiddling its thumbs. Its entire function is to recognize the difference between the self and the foreign bodies. The self is fine, and some foreign bodies are bad. Think about HIV, E. coli, things like that. Yet many foreign bodies come in contact with you, such as the hundreds of food proteins you eat, the thousands of molecules you breathe in, are also fine. The immune system has to learn at an early age how to tell the good foreign bodies from the bad, just as a toddler has to learn what hot means.
Yeah. And then what's interesting, too, is that it says basically, when I teach my clients about committees, for example, and I say, if you're setting up a committee, you have to have a charge for the committee. You have to have details and specifics about what that committee should be doing. And if the committee doesn't have that to do, then they start making stuff up and they start doing what they want to do, and they become a whole different creature. And it seems like our immune systems do something very similar, that if they don't have any infection to fight, they're going to go find something to fight because they figure, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
I need to do something. And that's where we get the autoimmune diseases and the allergies.
Yeah, and of course, in our Primal Edge, we have these two products called fulvic and humic acid that Paige Clark insisted be in the Primal Edge. And this became really, really important because I really hadn't learned about this before. And she was the one that really informed me and started me going down the road of looking at fulvic and humic acid, not only as something we could put in Primal Edge, but the function of them is so interesting because one of them is the detoxer and the other one is the one that says, hey, this is good to let in and this one you can't come in. So it really takes the vitamins and minerals that we put in our product, the Primal Edge, and allows the body to absorb them at the right times. And that's important because if you don't have these things, you don't have the defenses, you don't have the minerals and the things.
The micronutrients
the fatty acids,
everything
all the
that
things
you
that
need.
we put in there. So that was really an important thing. And Paige is going to be coming up after the break here. A little picture over here someplace.
Right. We were also, I think that part of it is that we need to be exposed to a lot of things. And the article talks about how being exposed early as a child gives us a less of a violent reaction, and it also helps to build the immune system. And the more diversity that we have, the more the immune system learns.
And also, when you're a kid, you get exposed to a lot of other kids and a lot of other adults and things and people you look up to, like teenagers and things like that. So you're getting exposed up to a lot of different things, and this is the time your body is learning these things. Right. So it's new, but your body is saying, "Whoa, I like this. Come on, give me another one so I can protect myself." Kind of. Your body's ready for these things, but later on in life, perhaps not, because of all the things. Maybe our, planet isn't as clean as it used to be. Maybe the food isn't as good. Maybe we have stuff in our food that prevents these things from helping us. So there's a lot of insults today, and this is why this program is called Living a Primal Lifestyle, because I always can look back and say, what did our ancestors do before we became the eaters of agriculture? Yeah. And the people that kept animals very close to us instead of far away from us.
It's about choices. It's about study. It's about research. It's about reading. It's about reading your body. How do you feel when you eat that? Do you feel better? You know, I take my Primal Edge in the morning, and I feel it has a psychological impact as well.
That too, yeah, of course.
Because I feel like I'm strapping on my defenses and girding myself for the battle of the day.
The placebo effect.
Yeah.
You know, how you talk to yourselves, the little rituals. This is probably why human beings had rituals and religions.
Well, it calms
because
the
it
mind.
makes us feel good. It bonds us together. It keeps us on the right track. Keeps us focused on our family and protecting ourselves. This is very important to us. So when we get back from the break, we've got Paige Clark coming on, our correspondent at large, and we'll see what she has to offer. We'll be right back, folks. Stick around.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back to the show. And we have Paige Clark on with us today. She's on right now, as a matter of fact. Paige, are you there?
Morning.
Good morning, Ellen and Nico. I was just listening in on the first part of the show, and you were just hitting some really important information. I really liked and it kind of really feeds into what I wanted to share with you today.
Oh, good.
And, you know, when you were talking about educating the immune system, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. And in the beginning of childhood, the education of the immune system of what is friend and foe is crucial. And if we're creating these sterile environments, how is our immune system going to know the
Right.
friend or foe?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And I
It
especially
really
think,
is.
and I especially think about now the kids that are kept indoors, of course, because of this. But they were indoors the last decade anyway,
Yeah,
because
sitting
they
in
were
front
out.
of computers.
Watching
and
Yeah,
video
computers
games.
and everything, right?
Yeah. No, it really is. And the principles of homeopathy, as you know, I really believe it's important, and I really encourage a lot of people to explore homeoprophylaxis, which is using homeopathic education of the immune system to create immunity, not vaccines. So, you have to go and look for it. They're trying to keep us from learning about it because the money is in the vaccines. But the reason I wanted to share something with you today, Nico and Ellen, is, kind of continuing along the line of looking around what's in our kitchen. We're home.
Right.
And the other week we talked about cream of tartar as being a great potassium source.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do another session where I think we should do a whole show on the benefits of fulvic and humic acid,
Yeah.
which was the inspiration for our Primal Edge.
Right.
It gets the good stuff in and the bad stuff out.
Right.
But I started thinking when the president came out with touting the HCQ as a remedy. Again, I think the media took it the wrong direction, and we have to understand why. The media really works for the drug companies. And so they want us to, and also the politicking of it all. They wanted this virus to be extremely scary and unsurmountable, so they didn't like the idea that an antidotal option was there. But I think we need to keep this in our back pocket because, as we found out, it's been used for years to help with many things, from leg cramps, not just malaria, but leg cramps and circulatory issues.
You're talking about the
Right?
quinine?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the actual
Tonic water,
substance that
quinine
is
water.
actually, similar, the natural version of what is the drug.
Right.
And so it caused me to start thinking, well, what is the action of that drug? And let's just keep this short because we've got a short segment, but it really is a gate opener, not unlike fulvic and humic acid. It helps the zinc get into the cell, and we know the zinc is important for detox and immunity, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, Ellen was talking about the psychological thing, about just the fact that when she takes her Primal Edge, it's psychological, and you mentioned the placebo effect, hugely important and strong. But also, how is that maybe the taking of a daily tonic, like the history of the gin and tonic, I think you might throw some of this in your next newsletter.
Yeah, I've got, it says here that quinine is a bitter substance, so to help the medicine go down, they mix it with water and sugar and local fruit, and in doing so, created the first tonic water.
Right.
And then added gin.
And then that's exactly what happened, Ellen. The soldiers in the British Army, they realized that the cinchona bark and this bitter substance, bitter is often better, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Would protect them against malaria. So they had their little rations of gin, so they turned it into they made it fun. They added that little gin to make it enjoyable, right?
Sure. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Couldn't hurt.
So I sent you a picture of this little concoction. I don't know if you'll be able to show it to the viewers today.
It's showing right
but
now.
I've been drinking.
Yep.
Oh, okay, because
Yep.
I can't see. But boy, is it tasty, and I hope you guys will give it a try. And just the Primal Edge is there that helps all the minerals get in. So
Right.
even though you and I, when we formulated Primal Edge with the brilliant formulator researcher, we added a significant amount of zinc. And remember, everything that's in the Primal Edge gets 100% absorbed because
Right.
of the small particle size. I mean, in the light of this situation, I took some of Premier's zinc. I took chlorophyll because it's minty and reoxygenates. We know that this whole virus is more of a blood oxygenation than a lung disease, right?
Right.
And then the tonic water. There's even lower sugar versions, and then just a little bubbly because I love everything bubbly. A little carbonated water, and I'm telling you, it's a delicious, refreshing little aperitif.
Yeah.
Anything bitter is going to help you with digestion, and kind of a nice way to augment getting our Primal Edge with a little different flavor. So I thought I'd share that with the
That's pretty
viewers.
cool. And everybody who wants an exact formula, they can always reach you at page@tfnn.com and get some information about that.
It's also a pretty drink. I think it
Absolutely.
needs a mint leaf, though, Paige.
There you go.
It is. The chlorophyll really
Yeah.
turns it all green.
Yeah.
And you guys keep me going on the time, but also we sent some information that might be good for the listeners. And just to tell you the recipe, you know, how
Yeah.
I took.
Right.
I just kind of like, hey, I'll take a dash of this and a dibble of this. It's an experimental thing. But I do think it's important to realize that the cinchona bark has been used for centuries for healing. And it's so funny because the media is working very hard at saying, oh, this is not proven, it's anecdotal. Well, but yet when you research it and you find out the benefits of what it's used for, you see it's been used for quite some time.
Well, I think
And
the
what's
point
wrong
is
with that?
anecdotal evidence is how our ancestors survived. You can
Exactly,
generation
Ellen,
to
you read my
generation.
mind.
Yep. Yep.
Can
You
you
read
talk?
my mind, Ellen. That's exactly what I was thinking. What's wrong with anecdotal? I think now we know that much of the research, the science, so to speak, has been bought and paid for.
That's right.
And that maybe we need to look back at anecdotal on what Grandma knew worked.
Can you talk about the resveratrol, Paige?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I tell you, again, I'm looking around in my kitchen a lot while we were on this break. And maybe I'm opening up my Instagram, maybe kind of start that with if you've got that article up, because I reloaded the password, so I'm having a little hard time. But resveratrol is a super antioxidant found often in grapes and
Wine,
and
which I
other
like.
dark purple polyphenols, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it in wine for sure.
Yeah, the Pinot Noir.
Well, that's another point, you know, to that point. You know, a lot of people say, oh, ridiculous. Resveratrol that you get in wine, you'd have to drink 150 bottles of wine and we'd all be on the floor. And people say the same thing about tonic water or the quinine in tonic water. Forget it. It's only 83 milligrams to a whole liter, and you'd need 500 to have the equivalent of an HCQ dosage.
But as you
That's
all
when
often
infections-
taught me, is that the smaller the better in a lot of these cases.
Is it
That's
cumulative?
more often.
Paige, is it cumulative? Does it, if you little, and it adds up?
Well, like the power of homeopathy, it actually becomes more powerful the more dilute it is, and perhaps all we need to educate that immune system is a small little reminder of what it is and how it helps.
That's for sure. Thanks a lot, Paige. Appreciate you coming aboard, and we'll see you next time.
I'll
Bye-bye.
see you next show, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Stick around, folks. We got a lot more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and a Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And before the break, we were talking about resveratrol, and I just wanted to throw out that it's also contained, aside from Pinot Noir and lovely red wines, it's also contained in dark chocolate and in cocoa. And I just, over the weekend, I made some of my world famous brownies.
They are world famous, that's for sure.
I keep tweaking the recipe, and it's made with cocoa. So that made me feel good when I was reading the
Plus
article.
you put a little shot of... Oh, I can't?
Secret recipe.
I almost blew it.
You almost...
Okay, so since we were talking about soil and Primal Edge and all that, I thought this article was involved in that, how soil microbes and intracellular communication affect health. And this is the symbiotic relationship that we have with Mother Earth. That's my personal little warm feeling about the whole thing, is that when I was playing in the dirt as a kid, it was really, really good for me. Playing in the dirt these days may not be, depending on where you are. If I'm in Colorado, I feel pretty good and no problem. If I'm here in a city in Florida or in New York
Central
or something, or Central Park, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of things that were introduced, and as we said before the break, there's a lot of things that follow human beings out of the forest. And these are animals that are with us, the German cockroaches and the rats and the mice and things like that, that just seem to follow us, and we've turned them into kind of different creatures that are domesticated and just following us because of our crap, pretty much.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your health is a large part determined by the health of the soil which your food is grown in, and also the stuff you play in. In this interview, Zach Bush divulges many reasons why it is so. And Bush, he's a triple board certified in internal medicine and
endocrinology and metabolism
and hospice
and palliative care.
And palliative care, I don't even know what that is.
That's the end of life, making you comfortable.
Well, he's one of the brightest physicians this author has ever met, and his career began as a researcher for cancer. When his funding dried up in 2002, 2010, 2008, he
transitioned into nutrition.
Like nutrition. He started talking about nutrition, which is, the doctors, as you know, when you go to the doctor, they don't ask you what you're eating or anything like that.
No, they never ask you.
But if you go to the pets, you go to the veterinarian, that's the first thing they ask you.
What's the dog eating, right?
Yeah, so that gives you a clue on our health system for sure. But his team contributed to a new science of microRNA, and the result of all that junk DNA in your body, accounting for more than 90% of it, of your genome. So there's a lot of junk in there, and it turns out this junk DNA and the resulting microRNA play an absolutely critical role in regulating the 25,000 genes that actually make up the proteins that build our body. Now, the microRNA function as an on-off switch is for the genes. And we know this is some things are turned on, some things are turned off. And if you're eating healthy and you've got a nice environment and things are going good, things get switched on that are good for you, things are switched off that are not good for you. But when you're not exposed to these things that are good for you, do they get switched on or not? Probably not.
Well, it says 30% of the microRNA switches that regulate gene production of proteins are not from human sources. They're from bacteria and fungi obtained from your food and environment. So that's interesting to know. I mean, we thought our bodies could produce a lot of things, but obviously what we put into them is what's feeding those things.
Yeah, and as we look at our past selves, 10,000 years ago, we know that our ancestors ate a very diverse diet. Now we probably eat 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of vegetables. We eat 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of meat.
Because they're all from the same family.
Yeah,
the
they're all from the same, and they're easy,
yeah.
and that's what is presented to us at the stores. And these are some of our favorite foods, naturally. But when we were hunter and gatherers, we had a much more diverse things. We probably ate a lot of insects. We probably ate a lot of honey. We ate a lot of
when it was available.
When it was available. So everything is seasonal. So there's certain things that we could get today in Boston, like a banana, that we would never even think about if we were in our primal world. And I think this also makes an impact on us. So think about it, that we're being exposed to a lot more types of things that we've never been exposed to because we have GMOs and things that are quite new. We're also exposed to much dirt. The stuff that travels with us, the roaches and the rats that are not near us, but they're very close by. And they leave droppings everywhere. And we're all touching those things, whether we know it or not, no matter how clean we think we
We
are.
don't even think about it.
Yeah, and we don't want to think about that in some cases, that's for sure.
Well, the interesting thing about this article about Dr. Bush's research was that he said he discovered, he made a leap of connection. And he said that disease, there's no such thing as asthma or cancer. It's all of it is loss of cell-to-cell communication.
Right, dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
Yes,
Yeah.
what Paige always says, it's a function that it's not going well. Things are attacking you and you don't have the response to it. The little guy's jabbing you and you just don't have the little shields there that you used to have, in a sense, I think.
Yeah, it
says, what's more, 30% of the microRNA switches that regulate genes' production of proteins do not have a human source. Something you said already. And this is from the bacteria and the fungi that's in your environment and from your food and from your pets and from the people you hang out with.
grab the doorknob and walk in the house. And it's, he says, as long as there's sufficient cell-to-cell communication, cancer cells should recognize that they're damaged beyond the point of repair and commit suicide. That process actually has a scientific name. It's called apoptosis or programmed cell death. And why does that fail in a lot of people?
And I think it's diet.
That's what he concluded as well. Yeah,
because we're stimulating it a lot more with a lot of these foods that in the natural world really aren't there. Think of refined carbohydrates, the sugars, the breads, the pastas, and things that we mix up are what I call fallback foods. Foods we definitely need because we're going to use them sometime because the other stuff is not there anymore. Very valuable. This is why they're in our religions. This is why it's the holy bread. This is why we have these little ceremonies with the wine and the bread, because these are important things that we need to survive when things go really bad. It's really important to understand that, however, when the hunting is good again, you go back to the primary foods and maybe even some of the secondary foods because we want them around. We know that they're going to be good for us in different situations. So it's really important to understand the whole concept of where our food comes from, how we use it, and why certain foods we use only when it's really bad and we don't use them again. And that's kind of what the primal, the paleo, and all these kind of health kick diets that we have been looking for the last 50 years, we're trying to keep ourselves healthy. So in the later years, in our 70s, 80s, 90, into 100, we're not crawling on the floor and asking, I can't get up, or telling, you know. Stick around, folks. We got a little bit more. I'm sorry. We'll be back, and we'll get some cheers into it.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hinks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
So this article that we're reading from is how soil microbes and intercellular communications affect human health. It was on the Dr. McCullough website, and he was interviewing Zach Bush, MD. And Zach Bush has got a lot of podcasts out there, so you can look him up and dig a little bit further.
What he basically did was he connected nutrition and food to causes of disease instead of germs. And
right. And this is kind of what our famous dentist did around the turn of the century in the 1900s, early 1900s. He went all over the world looking for the perfect type of diet, and he always thought
he was looking for good teeth.
Yeah, because he was a dentist, and he based the health of people on what their jaw and their teeth looked like, and he found all the indigenous people around the world had these great, smiley, wide smiles, really great teeth,
White.
very healthy people, and much to his dismay, because he he figured the perfect diet was going to be a vegetarian-style diet, and he found that the first action was always the protein animal source, whether it was fish or whether it was fowl or whether it was a ruminant or whether it was even bugs or worms and snakes and things like that. This was their primal edge.
And you were talking about the fallback foods, and it seems like somewhere in the 1940s and 50s, we suddenly made the fallback foods our main
Well, remember
diet.
MRIs, the Army used to have these little boxes, these little rations. And this was the first instant kind of food. They didn't have that in World War I. They were kind of developing it, but then they came up with these rations that they gave the people. And this was people started saying, hey, this is a great idea. This is where their microwave food came from later on, and their cereals and things like that, because we had little...
It all led to agribusiness, which we see today. It led to the Monsanto.
Right.
It led to the Roundup. It led to the glyphosate and being added to our food.
Yeah.
And because so many more people were consuming it, it became very much widespread as a health problem.
That's exactly right. That's what our show's about. Thanks for sticking around, folks. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Be safe.